All right, welcome back to the Podrace channel. Today we're going to be introducing a new series for the Podrace podcast, and it's basically going to be a Doomsday preparation leading up to, of course, Avengers Doomsday at the end of the year. Today we're going to focus on these 8 live-action Spider-Man movies, so Tobey's 3, Andrew's 2, and Tom's 3. We won't be talking about the Tom Hardy Venom trilogy today or the Spider-Verse 2 animated movies. We'll talk about them at a later time. Just to give a quick overview for our Doomsday prep, we're going to do these videos once a month. For February, we have Spider-Man. March is going to be Blade, Daredevil, and Elektra movies. April is going to be the 4 Fantastic Four movies. May is going to be the 13 X-Men and Deadpool movies. For obviously today, April and May, we are going to include the MCU movies, and then each month after that is going to be a different phase of the MCU to review. Those repeated MCU movies we'll quickly gloss over when we get to them later on. So I would say without further ado, we can just hop right into Spider-Man 2002.
Yeah, we'll do that one. So we'll start there.
We'll go in release order of these movies. Yeah, let's just dive right into it.
Let's just talk.
What did you think? Right. We'll do a quick overview or review of each movie, and then we'll do some rankings at the end.
Yeah.
Our buddy Shane has also compiled some questions for us to agree or disagree on as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
what did you think of Tobey's first Spider-Man?
Yeah, so I'll start there. I enjoy it. I think it's a good start to that trilogy. The only thing I have to say about that trilogy is that, or that movie I should say, is that it feels very 2000s. You watch that and you just know that is a very 2000s movie. And I only say that, I thought that when I watched it, and then I say that because when you go and watch the second one, I think the second one feels like they took drastic steps out of that type of writing and phase. The second one does not feel very 2000s to me. The first one does, and that's the only thing I would say that is glaring to me in the first one. I really love Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin. I think he's awesome in that role. The character's just really well done. I think Tobey is really good as Peter. I think he plays that very well. He's very good at the throughout the whole trilogy, but he's very good at the little nerdy mannerisms, the nerdy tendencies, the awkwardness that you get out of a Peter that I don't know if the other two, especially not Andrew, give you. And so I think the first one's good, but it's very 2000s. That's all I would say on that one.
Yeah, I mean, rewatching it, you can definitely, the CGI is definitely a little outdated, especially the scene where Goblin just throws the pumpkin bomb and they just turn into skeletons.
Yeah.
And some of the scenes with Goblin are definitely a little iffy looking. I think what you were saying, how the second one ramps it up, I think that was probably also, I'd assume they had to have a bigger budget for the second one.
Yes.
The first one did well. But I think it's a really good intro to the character. One thing that I do really like about the Raimi trilogy is it's very campy. And there's a lot of comic booky, corny line deliveries, jokes, and even some instances with the characters that don't feel too comic booky. I really like Tim Burton's Batman, but a lot of that is straight out of a comic book, and if you're not looking for that, you might look for the Dark Knight trilogy that's really grounded.
Yeah.
I think it does a lot of things well in the movie. Obviously, Uncle Ben, his death, I think the Uncle Ben in Tobey's trilogy is the best one. I mean, there's not much competition. Yeah. I think he has the most impact, even though, as we'll get into later, Andrews is basically the same exact thing, and of course Tom Holland doesn't even have Uncle Ben in his trilogy.
Yeah.
I think they do. I think one thing I'll get into later on as well is that Raimi, I think his world building is the best out of any of the Spider-Man movies at all. His trilogy, I think he builds, even though it's so contained to New York City, it's still the way he, in this one, sets up Harry to start turning towards the end of the movie when he sees Spider-Man bring back his dead dad. He thinks Spider-Man did it. I think overall, and I'll get it more, especially with Spider-Man 2 when we get into that. I have a lot of great things to say about Spider-Man 2. Um, I'm not the biggest fan of the natural webbing compared to the web shooters, but again, kind of sound like a broken record. Spider-Man 2 does like a great counter to that, and we're going to get into that shortly. I think the Thanksgiving scene is great, where Willem Dafoe realizes that Tobey is Spider-Man, and where he got the cut from, he had to excuse himself. And I think Rosemary Harris as Aunt May is so good.
Yeah,
she's
the best
great.
One.
The scene where she's doing the Our Father and the Green Goblin just busts in and she finishes the prayer. And she's always a great source of motivation and guidance to Peter throughout the whole trilogy.
Yeah. She definitely feels more like a she feels more like what the Aunt May figure is supposed to be, as opposed to Andrews and then Marissa Tomei in the Tom Holland trilogy. I will say, for the budgets, I looked them up. The first one was at $139 million. The second one's at $200 flat, and then the third one's at $250. So they did get a nice jump. And that probably had something to do as well as like advancements in tech at that time. But definitely the budget helps there with the feel of the movie. Do you want to go right into the second one now, or?
Just to quickly wrap it up about the first one. Kristen Dunst as MJ. She's fine in the first movie. She is like, and it's going to be a broken record throughout this. She's somehow always captured by the villain, no matter who it is, and even though they don't even know who Spider-Man is, they still somehow get
for her.
Mary Jane. And Joe, what's his name? The Flash. I can't think of his last name right now. He's okay. He's really only in one scene. He's a good bully. And even then, that scene is kind of funny to rewatch because Toby does like a triple backflip over some guy and then punches Flash all the way down to the other side of the hall, and no one thinks that's a little weird that someone's capable of doing that.
They're all like crowded around it watching too, and nobody like blinks an eye.
He literally like punches him into the next room that's like 20 yards away, and everyone just doesn't care.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think it's a really good intro to the character, first live action Spider-Man, and Tobey does a great job throughout it all.
Yeah.
Now, Spider-Man 2, I think Spider-Man, I mean, it's without a doubt the best in the trilogy. It's one of the better Spider-Man movies. I think the best part of this movie is Peter's struggle, in my opinion, trying to balance Spider-Man throughout the movie, especially in the beginning. He's missing MJ's, missing her shows. He's late to class. He's not showing up to class.
Yeah.
He's when he has the pizza job, he's missing deliveries and being late to that, so he gets fired. And the Spider-Man job is truly affecting his real life, and he has to live. And that is one thing I like about the Tobey series, is that Peter actually has a struggle, and not only in the Spider-Man Spider-Man side of his life. He's barely paying rent. He has a poor paying job. He's not really respected by J. Jonah Jameson at the Bugle at all. And his relationships are failing around him. And I feel like the other movies kind of failed to show that side of Peter.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes Peter such a relatable hero or character for so many people, is like, he's just a normal kid that misses his classes. He's failing papers in that movie. He, in the second one somewhat, in the third one, he has girl problems like with MJ, and he can't manage the relationship right, and he's not the best to his Uncle Ben in the first one with some of the things he says, and Aunt May at times, and he's just very relatable for younger people our age and younger that are watching that movie, because they can feel like they've gone through similar things to him. So I think that they do that very well in the second one. I think Doc Ock is the best villain in the trilogy. Even though I like Green Goblin a lot, I think Doc Ock is the best one through all three movies. That portrayal was just really well, and I thought I felt like his hatred for Spider-Man, or his, after everything happens, I felt like that was more justified and more real than the Green Goblin one in the first one. in watching the first one, it almost felt like that relationship or that rivalry was out of nowhere, but the Doc Ock one kind of made sense to me. At least viewing it did, and so I like that whole aspect of the movie a lot. And it definitely feels like it took steps in the technology used to make the movie and everything, and advancements. I think the stories were in better. The finish to the movie is really nice as well. The finale is really well done. I can see why people say it's up there as one of the best comic book movies ever made. I think it's really good.
Yeah, two scenes I kind of wanted to point out real quick, and then I want to get into some of the world building I talked about earlier. I think Aunt May is the best in this movie that she ever is in any Spider-Man movie, especially at the yard sale scene where Peter's neighbor is like, "Where did Spider-Man go?" He's like, "Oh, he quit." And then Aunt May kind of goes through the speech where she's saying everybody loves a hero and there's a hero in all of us. And also with that, one thing I liked about the Tobey movies is that it's very clear, they very much hint at that Aunt May knows Peter is Spider-Man, and she's kind of doing the speech so he'll get back out there. Especially the bank scene where he kind of just runs away from her, and then Spider-Man does end up saving her. She's like, "What do you mean by we?" But yeah, I really like that she's the one to kind of put the fuel back in Peter's heart, so to speak. Kind of like how Uncle Ben was. And then I think arguably the best scene in any Spider-Man movie, outside of maybe No Way Home, just because of the hype of it, is the train scene. It's so good.
Yeah, it's really good.
You want to get to him, you got to go through me.
Joey Diaz. Oh, that's so funny. It's such a good scene. Oh, I love that.
But, like, I always love also, and it happens in other Spider-Man movies where, like, New York kind of rallies around him because he saves them. They pull him back in. They don't talk about his identity at all. They're like, we'll keep it a secret.
Yeah.
And then they even try to defend him from Doc Ock. Kind of the same thing in the first one, too, though, when Green Goblin has Mary Jane or, like, the gondola full of kids, and they all start chucking shit at Green Goblin.
Yeah.
To get into world building a little bit, two things that was kind of revealed way later on, but when you're rewatching these, you really notice it, that Mr. Dickovich, who's the tenant, is a retired Kraven the Hunter, and there's one scene where he's asking for the rent, and he kind of has, I'll just call them mobsters with him. They're playing like card games, and he says, "I have ears like a cat and eyes like a rodent," and they really put emphasis on that to kind of hint that, like, yeah, he is this Kraven the Hunter character. And then obviously the big one is Bruce Campbell as Mysterio. And every movie the first movie he's the ring announcer, second movie he's the usher, third movie he's kind of the host. But in this one, when he tells Peter he can't go into the show because it helps maintain the illusion, he really puts emphasis on the word illusion. And the big thing with Mysterio is that he is the master of illusions. So I just like that subtle world building that Sam Raimi did. I know Bruce Campbell was supposed to have a bigger role in Spider-Man 4 if it ever really happened, but and then I still think with Harry, like, I like how Harry's in the background the whole movie, but he's still trying to take down Spider-Man, and he's working with Doc Ock to try to kill Spider-Man, and then he finally finds out that Spider-Man's Peter, and he's like, kind of has this come to Jesus moment. He's like, I don't know if I should kill my best friend, or my best friend's been lying to me this whole time.
Yeah.
And really setting up New Goblin in Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, they do a good job through all three of the movies, building that tension that of the progression of that relationship, going from best buds to adversaries, but only one half knows it, to both sides know it, and now they're going at it, and they have to resolve it in the third one. I think they do a really good job tying that into all three movies. It definitely feels planned out and not like written one at a time in that sense. I will say I think the Aunt May thing that you were talking about earlier with her essentially knowing the entire time, I like that a lot, as opposed to the Marissa Tomei, and I don't want to compare them yet into the episode, but the Marissa Tomei version where she just sees him in the suit and that's how she finds out. In the MCU comedy era it works, but for Spider-Man 2, I like the fact that Aunt May, as wise as a character as she is supposed to be, figures it out on her own and doesn't even like let Peter know, because she doesn't want to destroy what he has for him, but she knows, and it's pretty obvious to everybody. And I like that she's able to figure that out herself. Like, she's wise enough of a character to do that.
I also think it shows, like, it kind of shows how proud she is of him.
Yes.
To, like, take over that mantra
that
and
mantle.
be Spider-Man. Yeah. Do you have
'Cause
anything else?
Some parents would probably, like, laugh it off or, like, make a joke out of it and find it weird, but she respects it and everything. I think that's cool. But
well, even
I
not
don't
even find it weird, but she might tell him to stop because she doesn't want him to die
it might be
or
too
get
dangerous.
hurt.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's good on Spider-Man 2. I mean, not to spoil the rankings, but I think we both agree it's the best of Tobey's trilogy.
Yes. Yeah.
Into Spider-Man 3, very controversial movie. I love Spider-Man 3. I'm very well aware that it's not necessarily a good movie and it's very messy, but
I like it. Yeah.
there's so much fun to it, and I think that the camp really heightens it. Some of the issues, though, that are common issues that everyone complains about, there's too many villains. People don't really believe Topher Grace as Eddie Brock, which I understand he's not an intimidating figure, especially as before that his big role was Eric Foreman on That 70s Show, and he's basically just the little bitch in that show.
Yeah.
I think people have come around to bully Maguire and just like that little stint of it, kind of like how the Star Wars prequels, like people you love it because some of it's so bad, and you just love to watch.
I'll jump into that too when you're done. Yeah.
Go ahead, you're good.
I was gonna say I think part of that has to do with social media. I think you see a lot of the Bully Maguire and the Star Wars prequels become embraced as we grew up on social media. They're very memeable. They're very, like, trendy things, like the Tobey Maguire dance, the music, kind of that
like, emo hair.
Yeah, the emo thing. That it's very similar to the prequel movies, where some of those scenes, the quotes are, like, some of the things are very quotable in the movies, and we just begin to love them over time, our generation at least, and I think that really helps that movie become more embraced as time goes, especially the Bully Maguire thing. Especially, like, if you don't watch it for a while.
Much of the movie.
Yeah,
like, it's only
not.
like 10-ish minutes of that montage, like, not even, and then it gets into the like dinner date with Gwen Stacy.
Yeah.
Kind of similar to Dinner Date. MJ is so terrible in this movie.
Yeah, she's not great.
We both agree that when Tobey kisses Gwen Stacy as Spider-Man, he shouldn't have done that, obviously, but I think a big thing with Spider-Man, he got too much in the moment how much of a celebrity Spider-Man is. I think he forgot that, I have this whole other life, whole other woman outside of this. But even with that, she doesn't tell him. She gets fired from her job, which also throughout the series, I don't understand how she keeps booking these Broadway shows because she's never a good actor in the shows in the movie. When in Spider-Man 2, when she is in the one play, she keeps getting distracted looking at the seat, and then Peter's there. She messes up her lines all the time. And then in Spider-Man 3, like, she's not... No disrespect to, like, Kristen Dunst, but she's not a good singer to be on Broadway.
Yeah.
And then she gets canned. But she agrees to the plan with Harry when Harry... Well, I'll get into that in a second. But she doesn't tell him about the job. She kisses Harry while her and Peter are still together. Like, this is before... I think it's right after the dinner scene. Not the dinner scene with Gwen, but the proposal scene. I think it's after that.
Yeah, it is, because she leaves the dinner upset. Harry, I need somebody to talk to, company. She goes over, they dance in the kitchen, which is already kind of iffy, and then they kiss.
Well, yeah, and she wanted to go spend time with Harry when she was going through relationship problems with Peter.
Yeah, and they were still together at that point. They're still a thing.
Yeah. And then, a quick side note, like, I think the Harry amnesia plotline is so dumb, but I think they had to do it because Sony really wanted Venom in this movie, instead of just having Sandman as a prominent villain and Harry/New Goblin as the secondary villain, which I actually really like finishing that arc. And then they have, which I think is a good scene, in the very beginning of the movie, where they have the chase scene. He somehow drops the ring, and like 5 minutes later it's still falling, and he grabs it. And then Harry hits his head, survives the fall, but now has amnesia, and the last thing he remembers is his father dying.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like such a lazy way to write out the character and kind of erase a lot of the character development I feel like Harry had. And then with that, Harry goes up to MJ is like, if you want Peter to live, you're going to do this for me. so she fake breaks up with Peter on the bridge. But Harry's like 20 miles away. She could have easily just said, "Hey, Peter, Harry's making me do this. Like, go along with it." Blah blah blah. But she doesn't do that. She's like, "Yeah, we're gonna break up. There's someone else," and then
Yeah, I mean, when you're
all
under
that.
pressure with your life threatened and stuff like that, I guess your head's not in the right space, and so she's probably just doing what she thinks is going to keep her alive. She probably thinks if she tells Peter's a very reactionary guy, he's going to do something, and it becomes obvious, and now her life is at risk. So maybe that's the point of that. I don't know. I will say
Go ahead.
in watching 3, I think there's too many plot points that try and take over as the main. Like, you have these villains in the movie, Sandman and Harry, and they feel like they should be the focus, but it's really just like Peter's girl problems and like Peter balancing the relationship and getting to in his head and the insomniac thing, and so it's like which side am I supposed to care about more? And I don't know. I mean, I think the villains should have been focused a little bit more. They felt like side quests and side issues in the movie when they probably should have been a little bit more prominent, and the marriage thing should have been maybe tucked under that, but still going. Having only seen the movie like once, I'd have to watch it, again to really analyze it like that. But I've only seen it once, and that was just what I felt coming out of watching that, was that it just kind of focused on the wrong thing.
I mean, I will say, I think with that is they focus, like you said, I think they a little bit on Peter's life, but I also think that was just because they had to throw Venom in there, and the symbiote is such a prominent, like you said, the girl problems, but a lot of it is when he is under the control of the symbiote.
Yeah, I meant symbiote, not Insomniac.
Yeah. He shows up to MJ's new work with Gwen Stacy, puts on a big show, and then like accidentally slaps MJ to the ground. He obviously the Bully Maguire stuff. I mean, he literally believes he does and tries to kill Sandman in the sewer after he finds out that Sandman was actually Uncle Ben's killer, which
Yeah.
I like and don't like that plot point. I think it's a lazy way to connect Sandman to Peter, but I also do think it pays off at the end when Peter's like, "I forgive you." It's what, like, instead of killing him, like, he killed the guy who he thought killed Uncle Ben in the first one.
Yeah.
Quickly, I think Sandman's great. I really like Thomas Hayden Church as Sandman. Is he like just stealing all the money to try to like get money for his daughter? I'm assuming.
I think that's the main point, is that he needs to be able to afford
for his daughter's like cancer treatment.
Yeah, and that's why the Uncle Ben thing is like he's being misjudged for how Uncle Ben died and that whole story. He really just needed the money for his daughter. That was another thing. I thought that should have been if you're going after the guy that killed your uncle, I feel like that should have been propped up as more as a main plot point than the MJ relationship issues. That was another like aspect of that I thought they kind of didn't totally capitalize on.
Yeah, I think to kind of like wrap up Spider-Man 3, we can talk Venom. I really like the Venom design, and I love the symbiote suit that Peter has in the movie.
It's nice.
I don't really love Topher Grace as Eddie, but I do think he nails being this like annoying asshole that just kind of wants to get whatever he wants without. He's also really horny in this movie.
He is.
Like, before he even has a symbiote, he's like, him and Gwen got coffee, and he's like, "Oh, great night." And then he gets a symbiote, he makes like a boner joke when he picks up MJ, and he keeps talking about like having a great fun time with MJ. But especially the design at the end where he pulls Eddie out of the symbiote, and I think that is just a creepy, kind of like scary image to look at, and it's just making those like squealing noises. I do want to bring it back real quick to Spider-Man 2 because the horror thing kind of reminded me. The scene where Doc Ock wakes up in the hospital is a great horror scene in that movie. And the doctor's pure fear and panic as the tentacles are just killing them one by one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It also, I think, brings back, because Sam Raimi did the Evil Dead movies, I think it was a callback to that with kind of the vision of the tentacles, and then the one doctor picks up the chainsaw like Ash. And then I did think it was kind of funny how it ended off with like a Darth Vader no on the operating table. But overall, I mean, the trilogy was good. I think nostalgia holds it up a bit, but I don't want to compare it to the other two just yet because we're gonna get into that. But I think overall the trilogy is like, I would give it like an 8 out of 10.
Yeah,
Honestly, from top to bottom.
I'm probably about there. It's none of them are like bad, terrible movies that drags it down to like a 5. I think it's a solid 8 out of 10 for me.
Yeah.
7.5, 8.
Before we move on to Andrew, do you want to go? You want to go over some of the questions that our buddy Shane
Yeah,
had for
I can
us?
read them off if you want. I have them right here. We could switch off trilogies if
Okay.
you want and do that. So it's agree or disagree. I'll read the question. I'll just say 3, 2, 1, and so we're not over talking. You say your agree or whatever. I'll say mine, and then if we want to explain, just take like a minute so we keep going into the next trilogies. We'll do it that way. All right. So we have 3 here for or I'm sorry. So we have 9 total for this trilogy.
Okay.
So we'll go through all 9 now. So for Spider-Man 1, we have Spider-Man 1 is a Thanksgiving movie. 3, 2, 1.
Disagree. I mean,
I also
I don't
disagree.
think. I mean, you have the Thanksgiving scene with the turkey, but I think that's a stretch. Like people like say Die Hard's a Christmas movie. That's more of an argument than just one scene of
It's
carving a turkey.
Yeah, it's the same thing as the No Way Home argument where it's a Christmas movie. I don't think it is. Hawkeye is obviously a Christmas show, but I don't think No Way Home's a Christmas movie. So you have to embrace some of the holiday into the movie for it to be.
Yeah,
so,
I agree.
If the MCU does Norman Osborn / Green Goblin, it will never pass Willem Dafoe's.
Are you gonna 3, 2, 1?
I was thinking of mine. 3, 2, 1.
Agree.
Disagree. Never is a strong word. I'm not gonna say they can never do it, but I think it would be. I would not bet on it.
I don't even know who I could pick to play Norman Osborn.
Yeah, I don't know.
As an actor to pass Willem Dafoe, and Willem Dafoe as Norman Osborn was already in the MCU, and he's even better in No Way Home than the Spider-Man trilogy, in my opinion.
Which is why I don't think they really need to do the character again in the MCU.
I would like them Did you watch the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, like the animated show that just came out?
No.
They have Norman Osborn in that, and I like his role in that. I wouldn't mind if he's more of a background character and maybe pops up as Green Goblin at one point, but I would rather see. I want to see different villains.
Yes, I agree. The third one, Spider-Man does not hold up as well as people think and is overly 2000s. 3, 2, 1.
I mean, the overly I guess agree, but I think it holds up still pretty well. I just think some of the CGI is a little shaky, but I think overall it holds up as a good superhero movie for the time, especially.
I'm gonna agree, but I think it holds up, but it is overly 2000s. Like it's over. I don't want to say overwhelmingly 2000s, but it's close to that.
I'm fine with that.
Spider-Man 2 is still the best comic book movie to date. 3,
like
2,
ever?
1. It says Spider-Man 2 is still the best comic book movie to date. 3, 2, 1.
Disagree.
There's a lot better.
It's up there, but I'm picking the Batman. I'm picking the Dark Knight. I'm picking.
I'm going.
I'm probably gonna pick Infinity War over it, just to name a few. But I'll say I think I would have to look at all of them, but top 10 is more fair than best ever.
I have a comic book rankings on my letterbox, and I think it's around 15. You're gonna kill me on that. I think it's around 12 or 15.
Again,
but that's also like a combination of favorites. Yeah, like I'm not putting it over Winter Soldier. I'm not putting it over Infinity War, Dark Knight. So I mean, we keep it moving, but I think that's pretty fair. Spider-Man 2 is the best example of Peter and Spider-Man's life crossing over and making Peter's life worse. Disagree.
Oh, you're not going to do 3, 2, 1?
Yeah,
I agree.
We'll just skip the 3, 2, 1 and just say it.
I think we talked about it. I think it's the best example of how the two worlds collide and cause him some tragedy, so to speak, in his real life that he can't explain to other people why.
Okay. I'm weighing it with Andrew's right now, and I'm leaning Andrew in that, specifically like TASM 2. But I don't think that's a bad agree. I think it would be
If
between
you're
those
talking
two
about one
movies.
scene at the end of TASM 2, I still don't agree. But go ahead. We'll go to the next question.
All right. Well, we already kind of talked about this. Aunt May knew Peter was Spider-Man. Agree.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah. Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 3 isn't as bad as people make it out to be. Disagree. Or agree. I'm sorry. Agree.
I mean, I'd say agree. I think it's corny. It has its flaws, but like, I'd pick Spider-Man 3 to rewatch over a lot of the MCU movies in
People
terms of
talk
like.
about it like it's I don't know, like Thor: Love and Thunder level bad. I don't think it's no. It's
I
not even
also don't really
close.
think it killed the trilogy
No.
or killed the series. I think it was just kind of ready to move on, and they wanted a fresh face. So I'm gonna
Is it a
say I'm. Gonna,
is
is
it
it
a
what?
better trilogy cap than Dark Knight Rises?
Like the end of it?
Yeah.
It ends with Harry's funeral, right?
Not the no. I just mean the movie as a whole. Is it a better ending to the trilogy than Dark Knight Rises?
I kind of like the ending of Dark Knight
Me
Rises.
too.
Even like I like how Batman dies and
Yeah.
Bruce is
I'm
kind
gonna go
of.
Rises on that.
But I do, and also like not to waste too much time on it. The intro to Spider-Man 3 is literally like a combination of every scene from the first two movies. So
Hmm.
why? Like, I feel like they knew it was the end of it before that.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, there was talks of the fourth one, but we know how that ended up.
Yeah.
So, Gwen Stacy has more chemistry with Peter than MJ in any of the other movies. Agree.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say I agree. Like MJ is just she's just a damsel in distress in this series. I think
Yeah.
she causes Peter more harm than good. I like that
Hmm.
Gwen was in his lab. I mean, they don't have much screen time together, but I do
Hmm.
think they made like a better pairing.
I think they just worked better. I don't know if it's the way they're written or maybe it's Bryce Dallas Howard, but I think she's just a more bubbly like character, and she seemed like she likes Peter more than MJ ever did. Like I feel like right off the bat, Gwen was like a fan of Peter. She liked Peter. MJ just never seemed that into him until like he saved her life, and she was like, "Oh, this guy saved me, and now I love him." Like
Yeah,
Gwen always seemed to really like Peter, so I agree with that 100%. The third one, and then we'll go to TASM. Peter going emo works because it's what a nerd thinks would be cool.
agree. Especially
Agree.
for
I
the
don't.
time. It
Yeah.
was released in 2007. I think it was like, yeah, no, I
Yeah.
think, and I think they've talked about it before. A lot of people have also agreed that it's what Peter thinks would be cool. He's obviously like, kind of trying to like hit on women, so to speak,
Yeah.
in the like. So
I
I
think
agree
it's
with that one.
like you said. It's what Peter thinks is cool, and also the time today. If that movie was made today and they wanted to do that, I don't think they go the emo route. I think there's a different route you go. But for the time, yes, I think that was the right move. With that, so I'm going to agree with that. And also, I forgot to say, but on the screen, I'm going to have agree and disagree pop up for everyone next to our name, so people can see what we say for that.
Okay.
Um, we can go to TASM now because we're done the first
Yeah, I
trilogy.
think we can go to TASM.
Yeah, there's only two here,
Um,
so we can kind of go through it decently.
TASM. Rewatching I rewatched both of them yesterday. They're not as good as the first one is not as good as I remember it being. I do really like Andrew as Spider-Man. I think Emma Stone is the best love interest. Gwen Stacy's great, and obviously they were together in real life, so that helped them too with their chemistry.
Yeah,
I didn't realize like the whole Uncle Ben death is literally copy and paste from Tobey. Some guy, Peter doesn't stop a robber. The guy getting robbed comes out. He's like, "Are you gonna stop him?" In the first one, he repeats the line he said to him, like, "I missed the part where that's my problem." And in
yeah,
TASM, he's like, "It's store policy or something." And then Uncle Ben ends up dying. I do like Martin Sheen as Uncle Ben though, even though he's very
yes, he's
limited in
very
it.
good. Yeah,
Um, but the death wasn't as impactful in my opinion. Even though it does the same thing for Peter, I don't think it's as impactful to the viewer as Toby's was.
yeah. So one, what was your first point with I'll come back to it. I forgot. Oh, Gwen. I think Emma Stone as Gwen is a fantastic cast, and I think she's. I have my favorite is Peggy and Cap, but I think she is the best love interest in any MCU era Marvel movie. So I mean, it's 2010, so I'm gonna put it in that range. But I think she's the best love interest in any Marvel movie from that era. I think Gwen Stacy, Emma Stone is perfect in that role. Those two have great chemistry, like you said, real life couple. Aunt May is fine in that movie. Uncle Ben is really good, and the death, I think maybe because you see it progress and you know it's about to happen, it doesn't hit as hard as like you see a crowd and then Uncle Ben's laying dead in the middle of it, like Tobey had happened. So I think that the way it's just built is different, and it's a different impact for the viewer and also Peter. Andrew is. I said this the other day to you on Discord with our friend Shane. I think he's too good looking to be Spider-Man, and so when he's Peter, it's almost like not believable to me because he's just too good looking. He's not a nerdy guy or anything like that. Like, just could not see him being Peter Parker. But when he's in the suit, first of all, I think he has the best like build to be Spider-Man. That like slender, really tall, lengthy. Like he's got that perfect. His mannerisms and the charisma that he brings to the character is perfect for Spider-Man. Like, I think his Spider-Man is just dead on. That's what I would imagine it to be.
I think his quips, I like that he actually has, like, quips. Like, Tobey has a few.
He's witty. He's witty.
Tobey has a few, and so does Tom, but not like Andrew. Aunt May, she's barely in this movie. Like, I don't remember her being so, outside of, like, the beginning. After Uncle Ben dies, she's really not in it, and then I honestly forgot she was in it until they were broadcasting like the lizard climbing up Oscorp, and she's watching it. And I was like, I completely forgot you were even in this movie. Like, I just feel like she does nothing, unfortunately. And I do like the actress Sally Field. I think for a couple of quick things on TASM, then we can get into 2 because I think 2 is going to be a much bigger conversation. I think. Chris Zilka is the best Flash. I think he has the best relationship with Peter in terms of he has more of a human side. He bullies him, and then after like Uncle Ben dies and he tries to talk to him, and he's like, I understand like how you feel. Like he kind of basically says like he bullies other people because he's going through it too. And then he's like, you're coming, and then I know in TASM 2 they also are more friendly. And then at the end of this movie he's like, oh, you're coming around, Parker, and they like hug it out, something like that.
Yeah, when you can flesh out a side character and give them development like that, even when they're so minor as a Flash in that movie, I think it helps a lot I think it builds the movie up a little bit more.
Yeah.
When you have something to look for.
Finally, I think Lizard is. I like that we have a new villain, and Lizard's like, all right. I think his motive is so stupid. He just wants to turn people into lizards.
Well,
with like. I don't know.
I mean, well, no. The motive is, because he doesn't have an arm, right? So the motive
I know it has to do with like the regeneration
and bring yourself back. Yeah, that's the motive. But what it turns into, he gets lost into it once he does it to himself and turns into a lizard. He kind of just gets lost into what he's done, and then it turns into like turning people into lizards and stuff. It's kind of weird at the end there. I forgot to mention, I think Dennis Leary is fantastic in this movie. That's another amazing casting.
I think he's good in this movie. I understand he's like turning back in the Connors, but like Lizard saving Peter off the building didn't really make much sense to me either. I know he's like turning back in the Connors, but still.
Yeah. I see it. Are you going to TASM 2 or one more thing?
Do you have anything else for 1? Because I think I'm ready to go to 2.
I was just going to say I really liked the I liked that Peter made the promise to her dad to leave Gwen out of it, and then at the end of the movie when the teacher's like, don't make promises you can't keep, he's like, well, those are the best kind. First of all, I really liked that setup in that scene. I thought that was really cool. When he said that, I was like pretty geeked out about it. I just thought that was clever, and I like that he defied what her dad said, because again, that's Peter Parker invoking his own problems when he knows they might backfire at some point. So, I liked that. So let's just go to TASM 2.
I know you like this movie, rewatching it, Jesus Christ, I like Spider-Man 3 is messy, but I think it has fun. Like, there's very little I liked about this movie. I'm just gonna quickly name off some of the cons, and then you can kind of combat it if you want. And we'll try to be like quicker with it since we gotta get
Yeah.
into Tom too. I think
Yeah.
the opening, I'm throughout both movies, the parent subplot is so I hate it. I just think it's stupid. I like but dislike that he finds out that basically he was like the only one that could be Spider-Man, but I still don't really love that. I think the fact that you have a Spider-Man movie, a sequel too, and your opening is his parents getting killed in a plane crash is just so dumb. I don't understand that. Paul Giamatti, great actor, but his Rhino is just too over the top. Like,
Yeah.
Green Goblin's campy, but his Rhino is just kind of ridiculous. And then at the end, it's just a giant mechanical Rhino. I know you like Dennis Leary, but the Ghost Dad thing, I think I understand
Yeah, I
what
don't need
I
it.
just think it's stupid. I think Max, his motives are stupid. Like, even worse than Lizard, I think. He just wants to be seen, so he's just going to kill all these people and take out Spider-Man. And, like, I understand, like, there are people that kind of get, like, neglected and, like, aren't seen, so to speak. And, like, it does affect you, but just, I don't know. They also made it out to be, like, if anyone's like that, there's kind of weird, obsessive weirdo. I don't want to keep going in the cons and talk about it. Harry Osborn's terrible
Yeah,
in
he's
this
so
movie.
bad. That's probably the worst part of the movie in my opinion.
And I
is
think
Harry.
the actor, Dane Daheen, I think he's like a good actor. He was good in Chronicle and stuff, but he's not good in this. I also don't understand how he's like, he has so, like, his lines are so, the script is so bad in this. He's like, you took this picture, so you know Spider-Man. He took a
Yeah.
picture since, like, of a superhero. And then when Spider-Man comes and he's like, I'm not going to donate you my blood, he's like, why won't you give me, a random stranger, your blood? Like,
Yeah, it was weird. Yeah.
I'll go into some pros real quick. The suit is perfect in this. I think it's the best Spidey suit out of any live action appearance. I think the web-slinging in the series in general is better than Tom and Tobey. And I think the visuals in this movie are great. I think the fight scene in Times Square is really good, and even the end battle, which is a lot shorter than I remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just so many negatives for me. And Peter, there's like a brief cameo that Peter works at the Bugle via email, and he sends Jonah
Yeah, I
a
like
picture. I liked it, but I didn't like it because I don't think anyone's ever going to beat J.K. Simmons as Jonah.
No.
But I would have liked to see his work, his Peter side of. Because the Peter side you see is him just making the stupid vision board and going into the Roosevelt. I think it's a waste of time. But I'll let you talk about it because you like this movie way more than me.
No, yeah, that's fair. The Peter side definitely in that movie is not shown. The genius maybe is not shown as much, and even when there is genius, it's Gwen at the end with the batteries, with the web shooter, so he can use them in the fight. So that is a fair point. I'll say that there. This I like this movie, but it's one of those where it's like I understand that it's not great, and I understand that like people don't like it, but it's one of those where you just kind of have to personally take it on the chin and just be like, I like it, and like it just does something to me or for me that maybe other people don't appreciate. And so I liked the movie a lot. I like it a lot watching it. The Electro stuff is kind of corny. I didn't like that. I get the whole nobody sees me, so I'm upset thing, but then like all his, he's like a good dude and he's just upset, and then he gets the electrocuted and all that and turns into Electro, and now he's like mentally insane about it and like wants to kill people over it and stuff. Like there wasn't enough in between those two moments for me to think he would go from like nice guy just weird to like insane killer. So that was one thing I didn't like about it. I think, like you said, Harry Osborn is terrible in this movie. I think the design is terrible.
Yeah,
I don't like.
He looks
I don't
like
like
a
the
crackhead.
Yeah, I don't like the transformation scene. I didn't need to see that. I'd rather just. I liked the Tobey rendition of Harry way more than I liked the Andrew one. I think cinematically, it's one of the best looking Marvel movies or movies in general. There is. I mean, some of the shots of him swinging are just insanely beautiful. Especially Times Square, like that whole scene with Electro, I think is beautiful. Um, Again, Andrew is just a great Peter. And also the music. I think the music's stellar in TASM. His theme, I think, is great.
His theme's good. I like this music when I think of that movie is the Philip Phillips song with that vision board and just
Yeah.
and then he plays Pursuit of Happiness when he's testing the webs with the battery. It's
Yeah,
just
I don't
silly,
mind that though. Like, yeah, it's silly.
but
I don't mind it. What I do like about this movie is one of those, and I've heard people say it, it's like it has some lows, but I think there's some really like the highs in this movie are really high for me. I think they're really good. The cinematics, the suit, Andrew's mannerisms, and then the whole Gwen Stacy death at the end. To me, just hits like that hits like a
the
freight
visual
train.
of the web looking like the hand.
Yeah,
I
the
think
hand and like
I really
her
respect like
accepting it.
the decision to
Yes.
like
Yeah.
I was shocked when I saw that, even though she like smacks her head and somehow is not bleeding or anything.
Yeah, all over.
But
which is, I mean, that's just movies, I guess. They wouldn't do that today with Zendaya. Like, they would not kill her off in that way. So I respect them doing it.
Or even Kristen Dunst back in the day.
Yeah, no, but I respect them doing it for Andrew and giving him that life-changing event where she's gone and he has to live with that forever. And that struggle of being like that's the ultimate sacrifice of being Spider-Man is losing your loved ones. And so for him to have to actually be the only Spider-Man, I mean, I guess Aunt May and in Tom, but for him to really deal with that, Andrew, I think was super powerful. I also thought the ending, if you want to call it the epilogue or whatever it is, where he takes that 5-month break and the kid steps out to be Spider-Man and then he finally shows up. I thought that was beautiful too. Like that was emotional as hell, and the cinematics of him spinning with the pothole cover, beautiful. So I understand TASM's not well liked, but me personally, I love the movie. I think it's fun. It's very rewatchable just because of how beautiful it is and everything. I think it's a good movie.
Yeah, I think him and Harry also have no chemistry, and their friendship is just kind of thrown in there.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
I think to move on, I'll give this TASM a 5 out of 10. The highs, like you said, there are very highs, but I think the lows drag it down a lot. It's just not as enjoyable. I think Andrew and Emma Stone carry it to a 5, to be honest.
They do. I will say if those two are not in the trilogy or the movies, it probably is not nearly as liked. Like it probably drops pretty well for me as far as like a rating goes. But because of those two, I'm at like a 6.5 or a 7. I just think it's good. I think it's pretty good. So,
all right, we can do some rapid fire questions real quick and then move on to Tom. So the first one, TASM has the best Aunt May and Uncle Ben out of the 3 Spider-Man. No, definitely not.
No.
They have.
Disagree.
I think the worst Aunt May after rewatching Tom.
Yeah, and I don't think any of them are bad, but I think she's the worst of the 3.
The yellow lenses added to the homemade part of the. Oh, the yellow lenses add to the homemade part of the suit. Yeah, I mean it's just like sunglass lenses. Or agree, I guess. Like.
Yeah.
TASM has the best scenes showing Peter's intelligence and ingenuity. I feel like Gwen carries the intelligence stuff.
Like I said, the batteries thing at the end of 2. Unless there's something in 1 that I'm forgetting.
I don't even think of anything in 1 because I mean, he tells her that. I guess they talk about like he figures out like the cure for the rodents and the regeneration, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really agree with that. The bridge scene is the top 5 Spider-Man moment in the movies. When he rescues the kid and tells him to put the mask on.
In all the Spider-Man movies or in the TASM movies?
All of them. I'm going to disagree just because I think there's so many. I think it's a great scene for what Spider-Man represents, but also respectfully, the kid in that scene is really fucking stupid.
Yeah,
like,
he's dumb.
Get out of that car. But TASM 2, Gwen and Peter is not only the best relationship in Spidey movies, but any comic book movie. I mean, you're going to say Peggy and Cap. I'm just going to agree because I don't think there's any better.
No, I'm going to agree. I'm going to agree over Peggy Cap, yeah. Sorry.
TASM 2 is more overstuffed than Spider-Man 3, even with one less villain. Absolutely. Agree. they do not. The villains just don't
Yeah,
blend
because
well at all.
like we said, Harry's just thrown in there. He doesn't need to be in the movie.
Harry's terrible. Rhino is just like he's barely in it, but even and Electro like Sandman's better than Electro. Even if you want to compare the Harrys, James Franco's better in that, and I think Venom is better than Rhino. So
Yeah, but I don't think it's a matter of better actor. I think it's are they integrated into the plot well, and does it feel forced, or is there a
I think
a
it
point
feels
of
forced.
them being there? Yeah, I think. I mean, Electro is fine as far as like being
Harry's
forced
like
or not.
in there to set up the Sinister Six, which never even
Yeah,
happened. So
yeah.
um,
Harry's forced.
TASM 2 suit will never be topped in terms of accuracy. Sure, I'll agree.
Yeah,
I mean,
as far as accuracy,
I'm interested
sure.
to see what the brand new day suit's gonna fully
I think
look
it's
like
gonna
on
be
screen.
fucking beautiful.
And
Yeah.
then the Spy Parents is easily the worst part of the movie. Absolutely,
Yeah,
even worse than
yeah, I
Harry.
agree. Yeah,
All right, let's move on
I
to
do.
Homecoming. Oh, go
I'll ask
ahead.
you one. I'll ask you one question about TASM. Do you prefer the Toby bite, the real spider, or do you prefer the organic or inorganic spider bite that he like? Which plot line do you think is better?
I personally like the Toby one better just because in TASM it's revealed that like only Peter could be Spider-Man, and I kind
Yeah,
of like it that
anybody could.
yeah anybody who could have been bit it just happened to be Peter. I don't like
Okay,
I don't know. I don't
all
really
right,
like. All right,
gotcha. All right, let's
so
go.
we'll
Let's go
go
through these Tom ones decently fast, I guess, because we wanted to hit some other stuff too.
yeah. So it starts off with Homecoming. I think Homecoming's a great Spider-Man movie. Um, I will say I do think the Iron Man complaints are valid to a certainty, but I do think it. I think Tom in Homecoming is like the perfect embodiment of Peter Spider-Man combined. Like he's this awkward kid. He wants to be more than a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, but he realizes like maybe I'm not ready for that just yet. An Avengers level threat. I think Vulture's a great villain. Michael Keaton's awesome in the role. The one thing I'll say, obviously, is he's connected to it's a Tony Stark villain, but in a Spider-Man movie, so I don't love that. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
I think the scene with when Peter finds out Vulture is Liz's dad is great, and
I just
it
watched
is
that again
shocking for the
today.
movie.
Yeah.
And then the scene of them going to prom or the school dance, and the green like flashes when he realizes that he's Spider-Man is one of the best
Mm-hmm.
scenes. I think is better than that bridge scene. That scene alone is so
Yes.
good, and it's so
Yeah.
well shot with the lights.
I just rewatched that today, and like the way they do that with the lights is really good, and also just like the heavy silence in the whole car ride, and it focuses on the dad, and you see like her saying too much in the back seat, and him piecing it together,
Yeah.
and Peter's like awkwardness and like he's scared, and that scene is so well done. I think it's great.
It's also kind of funny to me though that like that one conversation alone he's able to piece it together, but none of his classmates could ever like
Yeah, yeah,
except for MJ in the second one, which I'll talk about that when we get to it. I also think the scene where he doesn't have the suit and he's in the debris, and he's kind of rethinking of what Tony told him. He's like, if you're nothing, if you're nothing without the suit, then you don't deserve it, basically. And he pulls himself out. I think that scene's great. I do
yeah.
like Iron Man's inclusion for that because,
It's like a
uh,
mentor.
yeah, even though a big complaint that I agree with Tom's trilogy is that a lot of his suits are like hand-me-downs and like the technology he gets, but I do think that aspect of it helps the Iron Man connection better. Uh, do you have anything else about Homecoming that I didn't get to mention?
Um, no, as far as Homecoming goes, I think I largely agree. I think it's a pretty good Spider-Man movie. Um, I guess we'll talk more about Tom specifically when we finish all three of them. But I do think Vulture is a really good villain. I don't mind the Tony inclusions as much as most people, but I can see why it's annoying, because it focuses on the wrong thing a little bit too much, I guess. I think the car ride scene is stellar.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think that's probably the best. That's my favorite scene in the movie. I do like that he saves Vulture at the end. Like that's
Yeah.
a Peter thing to do, honorable, like save the life even if it's your enemy. Um,
Mhm.
so I like that. So we can just go to this to Far From Home if you want, but I
Yeah.
don't have much more to say.
The last thing is, I think I like Ned in the first one. I think he's like a
Hmm.
decent character. Sometimes he can be a little much. And Marissa Tomei as May, she's good. I mean I feel like the reason she's even in it half the time is just for them to say, oh, she's hot, or like your
Yeah,
aunt's attractive.
yeah,
But I think she's a good mentor figure to Peter. I know you talked about it earlier that she finds out. I do think that ending is a good is pretty funny when she sees that he's Spider-Man. I don't love that
yeah,
she figures it out right away, but I do think it adds to the relationship as the movies go on. And
yeah.
then
Before
go
Far
ahead.
From Home, I will say because it's in the same time, it's before this movie. I think Peter in Civil War is like damn near perfect as Spider. Like or Thomas
Yeah.
Peter in Civil War. That suit I think is beautiful. I think the childish nature of him and like when he takes hits in the airport fight, the sounds and the screeches he makes, like it's all just very
Yeah.
Spider-Man. The witty jokes like you got a metal arm, dude. Like that's sick. Like that Peter to me is a top 3 Peter I think in any movie that we're going to talk about today. I think that's a
Yeah,
amazing
and
Spider-Man.
Civil War like showcases spider senses great without even like making it an obvious thing. Like
Yeah.
he realizes like something's getting thrown at him. He gets out of the way when he's fighting Falcon and Winter Soldier. So,
Yeah.
but
Far
Far
From
From
Home.
Home, easily the worst of the trilogy. Tom Holland. This movie's not very good in my opinion.
Yeah.
I like I like and dislike the idea of it being like set in Europe and the class trip because it's like something different for Spider-Man. But also the whole point is that the issue with the Tom Holland trilogy is that he's not grounded in New York and it's not like a street level story. It always is something more grand. So I do think that is one of the negatives of the movie. Even though the movie's messy, and I mean we'll just get it out of the way. Peter giving Beck Edith glasses is, I think, the worst decision in any character made in MCU. Like I understand he was like going through it. He just wanted to be a normal kid, but you're just gonna give this ultra high powered AI technology to this guy you met 2 days ago, and he's like, "Welcome to the Avengers." Like, I don't know. That was just
Yeah.
stupid to me.
Um you have anything else or
I mean, I have some positives, but if you want to get into some stuff,
No, yeah, I don't like the movie. I think it's a bit I'm not a fan of it like you said. I don't mind the class trip thing because I think it goes back to the Toby thing where I said it's really relatable for young kids and stuff. To be on a class trip and deal with these types of things, like I think that's kind of different and I like that. Like it's another like it's relatable for students to be on a class trip and deal with drama and stuff like that. So I don't mind that. The asking out MJ thing is relatable for young guys on the vacation and all that. So that's fine. Um, Jake Gyllenhaal, I'm a big fan.
yeah.
I don't hate Mysterio, but it's not the best, and I kind of wish he was casted for something better in the MCU. So
I
that's
don't know.
that.
I really like him as Mysterio, and I do think Mysterio is really good in this movie. I think the illusion aspect that it's all like the AI videos,
It
and
is
he's
cool.
like people will believe anything they see. I think is a great
Yeah.
plot line.
Maybe
I
it's just that I'm upset he's wasted in a bad movie.
I don't love that he's a Tony Stark villain like that. That's worse than Vulture in my opinion. That you're bringing it back to Tony, but I understand why. I
Yeah.
think the Happy Hogan's the best in this movie out of any MCU movie, in my
Yeah.
opinion. And
Yeah.
I do think his relationship with Aunt May is pretty funny, and I think they do those jokes well. Um, the final thing I'll kind of say, I think Nick Fury and Maria Hill is just their inclusion in the movie is just like meh, and then they turn out to be scrolls. I think is a little like I liked it in the moment back in the day. It was like, oh, this is a cool reveal, but then Secret Invasion, I just felt like it was trying to set up that. And I really hate calling the Spidey sense the Peter Tingle. I hate it.
Yeah. It's
I
not great.
just I do think the scene where he uses it at the end is great, and I think the illusion scenes are really well done. But outside of that, there's just nothing too memorable about this movie. And the spider monkey suit is just, it's fine. It's just a black. It's kind of just like a black SWAT suit, really.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, the suit's fine, like you said. I like the poster for this movie too, with the cards on his face and everything. I think that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. I think that's nice. Um, it's not my favorite movie. I don't think it's terrible, but it's not great. Um, I do like the illusions. I think that's a really cool idea of the illusions being like you're a fake hero in that sense. Um, yeah, I mean I don't have much more to say. The Edith thing, I'm sure we'll talk about that more. But the Edith thing is one of the biggest f ups that any Peter has done. I mean, why would you give
Yeah.
something of that power to somebody you just met 20 minutes ago? So, we can go if you want to go to No Way
Yeah.
Home. I'm good on that.
Yeah, I like No Way Home. Obviously, is the big one. You have Peter, you have Toby, Andrew, and Tom all joining forces here. The build up to this movie was awesome. The are they in the movie? Aren't they in the movie? The leaks that they lied pretty well on. I do like that this movie opens right where Far From Home left off, with Mysterio revealing Peter's identity to the world.
Yeah.
The aftermath of that. The brief Daredevil appearance is really cool to see. I do like that Peter's identity and like him being labeled, it's kind of like a terrorist, affects MJ and Ned too. Like they can't get into the schools they want to get into, and they're just kind of accept the fact that because they're friends with or relate like associated with Spider-Man, that their lives could be over or in jeopardy. But like until like I don't mind the Doctor Strange involvement. I do like the spell scene where Peter keeps messing up the spell. But overall, I think he's fine. I think he's better. I said he was worse, but I think he's better than Tony's like Iron Man being forced in there, because I think at least Strange makes more sense to this plot, and he's kind of the reason that the multiverse is kind of collapsing, because he didn't have to do the spell. So, but this movie's kind of slow until you get to the apartment scene, in my opinion. Like, I think the appearance of Doc Ock, Green Goblin, Sandman, and Electro, and even Lizard, even though he's just captured without them capturing him, like, seeing all those nostalgic faces is great, but other than that, it's just kind of a slow build.
Yeah. So, I guess I'll just talk about my points on No Way Home. Like you said, where he's supposed to be more grounded, I think that's a thing in all of the Tom Spider-Man movies here. And maybe it's just because of the grand scale of what the MCU is and what they want it to be, where everything is outside of it's a universal thing here with the MCU, and so he's got to fight people outside of New York. And so now, like, you're having him fight in other countries, you're having him fight other people from other multiverses. Like, that takes me out of the street level hero Spider-Man thing. So, I know that's intentional probably for the MCU version of Spider-Man. But if you want the street version, you're not getting it in those movies, which hopefully is changing in Brand New Day. It's what they've set up. I think the Andrew Peter stuff in this, Andrew Tobey stuff, I'm sorry, is really good in this movie. That dynamic between the three of them is really, really good. It's got a hint of the awkwardness of, like, we don't know each other, but we're the same person, so we should be cool. Like, I think all three of them do that very, very well. The final fight scene, I think, is great. The Andrew redemption with MJ is awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's really good for him. It's a piece of closure that him and viewers need, and so I like that a lot. I like that you can kind of get the hint that, like, Toby's the big dog Spider-Man, or like the older one, the wise one. Like, he's kind of like the I don't know what phrase you would use, but he's like the dad of the three, where like they kind of look up to Toby because he has the natural web shooters and he's the oldest one, and I think they do that pretty well in the movie. I like Strange in the movie. I don't think he's forced. I didn't even really think that was like a take until we started talking about it, that he's forced. I do like the idea that him and Peter would have built a relationship after Tony's death, because Peter might need that type of person in his life.
Yeah.
If it's not going to be happy, which I don't think it would be because he's not
No.
that type of guy. I like it being Strange. Obviously, that changes with the whole spell thing at the end working. But I like Strange in the movie. I think that's pretty much it. I think he meshes well with. I think his chemistry with Doc Ock is really well in the movie.
Yeah.
Tom's and
Go ahead.
no, that was it. And I was gonna say the apartment scene, like you said, is killer.
Yeah,
It's
the
awesome.
Spidey sense scene in that is great. Willem Dafoe is like at his best in that scene. The speech he
Yeah.
gives, he's like, "We're gods. We'll take what we want." And the rest of the villains are kind of like on board with it. They're like, "Yeah, why are we giving up this power that we got?"
That's one of the
Just
best displays of Spidey senses.
Yeah.
Might be the best.
Kind of just quick things. Obviously, I'm glad they fixed Electro's look. He is a little more comic accurate, or it's just a little bit better than being blue and bald with the gap. I really wish that Thomas Hayden Church could have made it to set so it wasn't
Yeah.
just the Sandman silhouette that you never even see in the Tobey movies, like him like that, but he couldn't get on set, so it was just his voice. When him
Yeah.
and Connors revert back, it's just archive footage from the TASM 1 and Spidey 3, which kind of sucks. But yeah, and it's great to see J. Jonah Jameson back in this movie.
Yeah, that was cool too. Yeah.
That's kind of it. Like, I went to bring it up earlier, but when they're talking about the natural shootings, he's like, "Do you ever get web block?" And Toby's like, "Yeah, I actually did." One of the best parts about Spider-Man 2 is that his mental health is he can't shoot webs because he's going through it. Like, his outside life is affecting it so much, and I think that is a great counter to the natural web shooters and just like generating it whenever you want.
Yeah, because it should have a flaw, or it should be nerfed in some way, because web shooters like the manufactured ones, like they could break any time, and then you don't have
or just run out of web.
Yeah,
and the final thing I'll say about the Tom Holland trilogy is that until this one, I don't like that they didn't show him like making his webs, but in the lab, I think they were making the webs and the antidotes, and I definitely think in Brand New Day they'll kind of show that more.
Yeah.
Are you ready to give your your Tom trilogy grade?
Yeah. I will just say I think No Way Home is setting up Brand New Day to give a very Tobey feel. The rundown apartment, nobody in his life anymore, really. Like, it's setting up nicely for that, and it's going to be grounded. So I'm excited for that. And I will say the coffee shop scene at the end might be top 2 or 3 MCU movie ending.
Yeah, I just hope they don't ruin that with Ned and MJ coming back in Brand New Day. I really hope it's like him seeing her with her new boyfriend, and like Ned with even Flash, like best friends.
He's getting a trilogy again, right? Like a new one.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna go back to them knowing each other by the 6th one, but not in this one.
I would rather him just have to earn her like love back than
either way.
Spell being reversed.
Yeah. But you want to do grades?
Yeah, I'd give the Tom trilogy an 8.5. I think Far From Home drops it a lot. No Way Home obviously has the most, I would say, the peak moments of any Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
Just seeing everyone together. Mm-hmm. And I love Homecoming, so.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like I'm like an 8.5.
Let's do the agree disagree real quick, and then we'll get into our final rankings to wrap it up.
There's a good amount of them here. Do you want to do?
I'll start it off if you want.
Okay. I'll do No Way Home if you want to do the first two.
All right. Homecoming has the best take on modern day high schools and is more realistic than the other two. I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Even though I don't like Tony Revolori's Flash, he does kind of make sense as a snobby rich kid who they do throw hints at it, like his parents neglect him, especially in Far From Home. He's texting his parents like, "I haven't heard from you," and then their butler picks him up. So I understand why he's bullying Peter, but at the same time, I don't think Tom Holland would be getting bullied by that kid. Peter's arc of accepting his role as a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man instead of an Avenger makes perfect sense for the MCU. I don't know. I'm gonna
That's
say
tough.
disagree just because
I
also a year
yeah
after Homecoming he goes to space and stuff anyway.
yeah like he says he wants to be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, but then he accepts these like Avenger tasks and stuff,
Yeah.
and so I probably would I would disagree with that.
Michael Keaton's Vulture is a top 5 MCU villain. It's close, but I'm
Disagree.
probably gonna have to disagree. We don't have to go through a running list of them now. He's definitely top 10. I would have to see a full list of all the villains. Not gonna
Yeah,
lie, but he's not beating out Thanos, the High
he
Evolutionary.
he's not five. He's not top
Yeah,
five.
and then Iron Man Jr. is an overdone complaint about
That's funny.
Homecoming. Uh,
I already said I agree. I think it's overdone. I don't think that's an
I don't
issue.
know. I think like the Iron Man complaints is overdone. I think Iron Man Jr. is more
That's
acceptable
funny.
for Far From Home than Homecoming, in my opinion. Because
The
in the
name,
scene where,
the name,
he's in
yeah,
the ship, he's building the suit, and Happy's clearly looking at him like, "You look like Tony," and this
yeah,
whole
but that's a
dilemma is
good moment.
basically like,
That's a
I'm
good
not saying
moment.
it's a bad moment. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Start wrapping up.
All right, I'll do Far From Home. Far From Home is the worst Spider-Man movie to ever come out.
Disagree.
Disagree.
Yeah, I
We're just
disagree.
are we talking about just the ones we talked about today, or like anything? I guess it would
I
be.
think just a live action. I mean, it's not worse. It's worse than both Spider-Verse movies, but it's not the worst one. I think you probably don't agree. TASM 2 is worse for me. It's right above
Okay.
TASM 2. So
All right. All right. I have to look at my letterbox, but I think I actually might agree with that. Um, Far From Home only happens by making Peter act wildly out of character and forget any progression through his first 4 MCU appearances.
um, I don't like. I'm
It's
gonna
kind of a
disagree.
loaded
I'm gonna
question.
disagree because I think I understand Peter's mindset in the movie that he just wants to be normal for like a week for the vacation.
Yeah.
He just wants to be normal. He wants to try to, get with the girl he likes. He wants to just have peace and hang out, especially when he's across in a different continent. He doesn't think that he should have to be the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. So I'm going to disagree.
Yeah. I also disagree with that. I think I don't necessarily think it's out of character. I think he's still just a 15-year-old kid acting stupid and illogical. And so
Yeah.
I think that's what it boils down to. I think No Way Home and post No Way Home is going to be a much more mature, level-headed Peter.
Yeah.
Marissa Tomei is the worst Aunt May and is a horrible Guardian figure.
I disagree with the worst Aunt May. I don't know. She just kind of lets him try to be a kid. I don't really think she's a horrible Guardian figure, especially in Far From Home. She packs a suit, and that's really
Yeah.
about it. She doesn't do
And
anything other than have the phone
There's
call.
a lot of times when Tony and especially Happy feel like his Guardian figure more than her.
Yeah.
I don't think she's bad, and also like he's Spider-Man. He like sneaks out all the time,
Yeah.
and like she doesn't notice. None of them noticed. So I don't know if I would put that label on her. Peter's love for MJ came out of nowhere and was rushed, and needed another movie to develop.
At the end of Homecoming, I'm pretty sure they like throw hints that he has a crush on her.
Yeah, I don't think it's
I
nearly
think
as
maybe his like fully this is my like 6-step plan is a little rushed,
yeah.
but I think you kind of knew that they were going to end up together. I'm going to disagree.
If there was no prior media, and you didn't know him and MJ are together in other pieces of media, would it feel rushed? Or is it because you had prior knowledge knowing it's coming that you're okay with it?
I mean, I guess, but he's also just a teenage kid. I mean, you see, like you have like when you're in high school and something, you can have a conversation with someone you like and you want to like be with them. So
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
think
that's
it's that
fair.
out of character.
Yeah, I think her feelings for him is much more fleshed out. I mean, you can
Yeah.
almost sense it immediately that she likes him. So there's that. And then giving Mysterio Edith was one of the most out of character moments in the MCU. I disagree.
I don't think it's out of character, but I think
Yeah.
it's the dumbest decision because he's
yeah.
just a gullible kid and he's going through it and he wants. So I'll disagree with that.
Yeah, I disagree. It's incredibly stupid, but it's not out of character.
No Way Home was the perfect epilogue to Andrew and Tobey Spider-Man while also leaving room for sequels. I completely agree.
I also agree, especially Andrew.
Yeah.
Tobey's opens up some doors, but I think Andrew's, it's a really good bookend.
No Way Home is still the best use of the multiverse that the MCU has done, leading to Doomsday. I mean, yeah, but there's not much competition. Like, Multiverse of Madness, no.
Endgame.
Endgame's not really it's no.
I mean,
Endgame's
that.
not really multiverse. It's going back to the past.
Yeah,
You're
I mean,
time
but it mentions
traveling,
the
so.
branches and all that, and it's different.
Yeah,
It's
but
different
that's not
Thanos
like.
and Gamora coming in.
Yeah, but that's not like a multiverse thing. That was just more of like their sticky.
Yeah, and then Loki.
Time.
I would.
Yeah, I'm gonna say No Way Home's the best use of it. To be
I
honest.
agree. I agree. I think it's the cleanest. Some of them get messy.
Doctor Strange is widely out of character in No Way Home. I'm in the middle on this. He's always had this like cocky, like Wong tells him don't do the spell. I think that fuels him to do it more. I do think he's a little reckless in this, but that's also just kind of his hubris, and he just has so much pride and thinking he can do everything. So.
Part of it's also Tom's fault for
Yeah.
changing the spells 80 times, but
And
I'm going to disagree.
Finally, the final battle is the best finale in the entire MCU. So
No.
the battle being the best like I like the
No.
battle
I
low-key more
disagree
than the
entirely.
Endgame, but I think the finale of Endgame's better. The fight scene in general.
Are we talking
I
like the
more.
choreography of the battle, or like just
I think it's
everything?
just in general in the battle. So you can
No.
just disagree.
Yeah, I mean,
Endgame?
I'm putting Endgame above it. I would put Civil War, the fight, above it.
Yeah,
I think that is so emotional. I put that above it. I don't know what else would be.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
All right, so just to wrap it up, we're going to quickly rank the characters kind of. So we have best Spider-Man, best Peter, best love interest, and we're kind of going to do 1 to 3. I don't think we should include Gwen Stacy and Spider-Man, Tobey, or Liz and Tom. I think that just do the main love interest. We're going to do the best friends, so the 2 Harrys and Ned. We can do our top 3 villains and then top 3 scenes and wrap it up. Is that?
Yeah. And then we'll do. Are we ranking the movies?
Yeah, we'll rank the movies at the very end.
All right. Since you have it written down, you tell us what we're doing.
I only wrote down one thing because you kind of said you're going in blind. For the best, do you want to do one? We'll do each category 1 by 1 each.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Okay. For the best Spider-Man, I have Andrew. I think I have Andrew, Tobey than Tom. I think rewatching the Tobey movies, I think he's a better Spider-Man. The Spider-Man character, the side of Peter, than.
So you're not talking both. You're talking just Spider-Man.
I'm doing one side or the other right now. If we can do both after, if you want.
Okay, if it's just in the suit.
Yeah, it's just in the suit.
If it's just in the suit, I'm going Andrew, Tom, Tobey.
Okay. For best Peter, I have Tobey, Tom, then Andrew.
Yes.
I don't think Andrew gets enough time with Peter outside of the parents' plot, and
told you,
it drags it down.
He's too good looking to be Peter. I swear to God, he's too good looking.
So we can do the best combination then, right now, real quick. I'm gonna go Tom, Tobey, Andrew. I think Tom is the perfect embodiment of the character as a whole. Yeah. And then Tobey, and then Andrew. Andrew just doesn't get enough Peter. And
his Peter's not on display enough. I think Tom is the best. He's the best display of the young age and the recklessness. Yeah. As well. So I would do Tom, Tobey, Andrew for that.
Okay. Best love interest. I'm gonna go Emma Stone, Gwen Stacy. Yeah. I'm gonna go Zendaya, MJ, and then Kristen Dunst, MJ. Kristen Dunst, MJ is just I don't think she really does anything good for Peter's mental health
I like Bryce Dallas Howard's Gwen more than her.
She's always just the damsel in distress, which I don't think is what I would want out of the love interest for the.
Yeah, but I would put Emma Stone at 1.
All right, so now we're gonna do best friend. I'm gonna go James Franco, Harry. Although, all right, I'll go James Franco, Harry. I'll go Ned, and then the Harry from TASM. Ned almost made the top spot just because he's actually his friend the whole way through.
I'm putting Ned at 1.
Yeah, I think
Ned,
nostalgia
then James Franco.
Yeah. Yeah. So for best villain, We'll just do our top 3.
Yeah.
I think
Don't count any of the No Way Home crossover ones. Like
I wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't
you know what
going
I mean?
to. I was just gonna do the standalone.
All right.
I think I'm gonna go Doc Ock, Goblin, Vulture as my top 3 in that
That's
order.
my. I think I'm with you. I was Doc Ock's my 1, and then it's between the other 2. But I think I'm gonna go Goblin. Vulture.
I just think Willem Dafoe's
it's iconic.
performance is the best of the 3, but I just like Doc. I think Doc Ock overall is better.
It's a better written character, I think.
Yeah.
In the movie, at least.
And then
so
top
I
3
agree.
scenes. I'm gonna go the train scene in Spider-Man 2. I really do like the green light scene. Are we doing like just scenes in the movies or Spider-Man like specific, like the character fighting?
Scenes in the movies. Scenes in the movies.
I think I'm gonna go I think the green light scene's great, and honestly, I'm gonna do the in Homecoming when he gets out of the debris. I really like the worthy of this title of Spider-Man.
Okay, I'm gonna go. What was your first one?
The train scene in Spider-Man 2.
Okay, train scene's really good. I'm gonna go okay. I'm gonna go train scene 3 because I think that's really good. In the 2, I'm gonna go the coffee shop at the end of No Way Home. I think that's awesome.
Okay.
And then at number 1, I'm going Gwen Stacy death.
Okay. I'm kind of surprised that we didn't do any No Way Home stuff, really, like the 3 Spider-Men together. But I think the other scenes are a little
cool,
stronger.
but I like them more. I like the other scenes, like they're more emotional to me than like a cool crossover.
All right.
I like payoffs and stuff like that.
So to end it off, we're gonna rank all 8 of the movies. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
You go first, and start at your last one and just go up.
All right. So from 8 to 1, I have TASM 2, Far From Home, Spider-Man 3, TASM 1, Spider-Man 1, Homecoming, No Way Home, and Spider-Man 2 is my number 1.
Okay. Let me pull up my letterbox. All right.
Should've
I have. You're gonna hate this list. You might not. So at 8, I have Far From Home. At 9, I have Spider-Man 3. I'm sorry, no. 8 is Far From Home. 7 is Spider-Man 3. 6 is TASM. 5, I have Spider-Man 1. 4, I have Homecoming. 3, I have TASM 2. 2, I have Spider-Man 2. And No Way Home is in the top spot.
How do you have TASM 2 at 3?
Because I told you, I understand it's not the best Spider-Man movie, but it's a favorite thing. It's a bias.
All right, whatever, man. I'll respect your opinion, but I don't think it's.
I think the highs in that movie are so good and so emotional.
There's
that it
literally like
to
3 highs in that movie. The Gwen Stacy death,
they worked that well.
The Times Square and the Electro fight scene does not make it better than Homecoming, Spider-Man 1, or even TASM 1. TASM 1's better, but whatever.
No, I don't think TASM 1's better. The cinematics. I think his Spider-Man, everything about the way he plays that character, and for as much as we said there's as little Peter as there is in the movie, that just means there's more Andrew Spider-Man, and it really does shine, and I like that. I don't hate the family discovery thing as much as you do. I think it wastes some time, but I do like that he finds out his importance as a character and what his dad's true intentions were. Like, I like that he gets that closure, and then I just like I think the Emma Stone Andrew Garfield chemistry is next level in any Marvel movie. I think it's up there, and I think the ending is really, really good. Is 3 high? Yeah, like I know it's high, and people probably have it down like 7 or 8, but I like the movie, so I put it up there.
All right. I think that's gonna.
If I had to really analyze what's better, then it might drop. But as far as like what's my favorites, it's going up there.
All right, whatever, man. I'll give it to you. But that's gonna wrap it up for our first episode of Doomsday Prep. Like I said, this is going to be a monthly series leading up to Doomsday. Next month, we're going to have the Blade trilogy, Elektra, Daredevil, and we might squeeze in maybe the Venom trilogy, the Tom Hardy one, just to kind of throw in some movies there. But thanks for tuning into the pod race, and we'll see you next time.